Welcome to the Consulting Lifestyle Podcast. I am your host, Diogène Tirandekura. On this show, you will discover the realities, the successes and the struggles of business management and information technology consultants in the fast-moving B2B world. So stay tuned if you want to know more about what it takes to have a consulting lifestyle. Hello, my guest today is Paul Ace, the messenger bot guy. So on the episode number 2 of the Consulting Lifestyle, we have a very young and very creative entrepreneur based in the UK, basically England. Paul has ran 4 different businesses in 4 totally different industries, and he will share with us the lessons that he learned during his business journey. We will also learn a lot about the conversational commerce experience and how it can help your business to grow. So Paul, welcome to the show and share with us a little bit about your personal story.
Yeah, so firstly, thanks for having me on the show. It's great to be on here. I started off I actually started off selling sausage rolls. I know that sounds weird. Wow. But yeah, I came out of school and decided I wanted to go straight into work instead of going to university. So I ended up spending 5 years at a bakery, a big chain bakery in the UK. Worked up to manager in 2 years, did the whole kind of like corporate stuff. Was running like 18 staff at 20 years old, which was like a bit hard and crazy, but it taught me a lot of stuff. Then I got to 23 and I was like, don't want to be in this world. Don't want to do that. So I was like, right, let's. I'd always been doing music and stuff like that, and I'd learned to sing when I was like 20, 21, something like that. Wow. As well. Yeah. Let's go. Cool. Yeah. So over that time, I decided to go from singing. I went from sausage rolls to singing, and then I went from singing to selling bridesmaids dresses, and then I went from selling bridesmaids dresses to social media and bots. So I went through this like whole
four completely different industries. Like they have no link to each other.
They don't, but they did. So I was already in bands and stuff like that. So then I was like, how can I actually make money out of being a musician? And I was like, well, if I'm a singer, I don't have to split it with anyone, and I can charge a lot more money than being a drummer and getting like £60 a night. And I went from £60 a night to eventually I was charging £2,000 a day, which works out about $2,500. Because I was really good at what I did, and I refined my craft more than most of the other people in the industry. What I found with that though, it wasn't scalable. Right, so I closed that business down. Guess how much it was worth? 0.
Oh yeah,
because completely relied on me.
Yes, everything relies on you. You produce the music. You are on stage. You cannot be at different stages at the same time. And what type of music it was?
50s and 60s, vintage singing mainly, which was cool. But I was very interactive. Go out into the crowd and all that kind of stuff. Even like sat on middle-aged men's knees sometimes, and people found it absolutely hilarious. It got people to dress up and all that kind of stuff, and do dance-offs and everything. So that kind of stuff, and I kind of took that into the online wedding business that we had, selling bridesmaids dresses. That kind of led in from doing the wedding singing. And I learned a lot about doing Facebook Live. So we did a Facebook Live every day for 365 days.
Which year?
Not last year, the year before, I think it was.
Okay.
So we did that every single day. That taught us a lot about like positioning, talking on camera, and getting your point across, and being energetic and all that kind of stuff as well. Yes. Using your hands, because I don't know why I use my hands a lot, but I do. So we did that. Then we got some success with selling bridesmaids dresses. We got up to like $96,000 in sales in about 5 months, 4 or 5 months.
That's a lot. That's almost 20k pounds a month.
Yeah. We raised up to eventually, I think it was like £16,000 a month. So yeah, it's about $20,000. And then we realized that was really good at sales, but it's not good at returns, because we're selling clothing and you're trying to impress 7 people to do the same thing. So then we had a returns problem.
Okay.
And in that period, we actually had the postman would knock on the door every day, and every time I heard, the little beep when they scan it, I knew. I was like, that's £300, £600, £900, and we had £24,000 in returns in 2 months. So we nearly went bankrupt. So I was like, can't do this anymore. So then we went. Then I was like, well, what I'm good at? I'm good at the selling part. So we took the stuff that we're doing with messenger bots and social media and everything else and put all that together. And I was like, right, I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to do messenger bots. And then went from there into this conversational commerce experience. And that's kind of where we got to where we are today.
Yeah, that is something that we will dig a bit during the episode. But first, for the audience to understand, what is a messenger bot? If you can explain it for anyone that is not familiar with it, I think it would be very helpful.
So if you use Facebook Messenger, it's literally like having a chat on Facebook Messenger with something that's got an automated process. So you can have this back and forth conversation with something that is responding to you automatically. Yes,
it interacts with you directly. Okay, that's
correct. Another way of looking at it as well, it's like having a 24/7 salesperson who never asks for a raise, never screws up, and never leaves you for another company.
It's like the perfect salesperson.
Exactly. And it's the same perfect customer service person who works for you 24/7 as well.
As well, true, because that's what we often deal with is the after sales, and you saw it with the bridesmaid dress business, by the way.
yeah. I mean, we were getting 250 messages a day coming through our bot, and because we had this automated system, it was only taking us an hour a day to deal with it all.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and you are so you called you call yourself, or at least you have the website themessengerbotguy.com. And indeed, there is a very interesting resource that you have is what you called the CCOM experience.
Yes.
Can you also elaborate on what it is?
So CCOM is all about conversational commerce. So it's about, we've been doing conversational commerce since the dawn of time, and people just didn't realize that's what we were doing, right? So even if you look back to caveman times, primal times, someone would say, "Oh, you got rock. I want rock for rock." Okay, yes. What else could you give? Okay, and then and then over time, it's gone into this more of kind of like, oh, meet so and so. Oh yeah, they seem like a really cool person. Yeah, let's go for dinner. And then from going for dinner, then you go, hey, maybe we could do something together. And then from there, you go, oh, let's do this joint venture partnership. And then it turns into all this other stuff. But what we've done now is taking this to another level in terms of automating a lot of the process and creating this conversational experience with customers over multiple platforms. Because what does everyone want nowadays? They want personalized service and instant answers, right? So it's like this instant gratification where people are like, just give me the answer now, give me the answer, but make sure it's completely personal to me. And I'm like,
indeed,
okay, how do we do that? So then we integrate messenger, voicemail, personalized video messaging, text messages, email, direct mail. We're just starting looking at push notifications and stuff as well. So literally every platform that you can think of, integrating all those together to build on that customer experience for each and every customer. So, for example, like sending a text message when you've sent someone a video message to say, just to let you know, I've just sent you a video message to your email. Go and check it out. We increased the view rate of that message by about 50% because it was personalized, super personalized.
Yes, it's personalized. It's where people have their attention, and so there is way more chance if you send a text to someone that they will pay attention to it compared to an email. At least I speak about myself.
And Tony Robbins says as well where attention goes, energy flows. And that's also true in marketing. If where the attention is right now is on these chat platforms, it's people looking at the phone left, right, and center. Is it people checking email? Maybe not as much. Does that mean email's dead? No, it's still got a place. I was looking at some of my stats today. And I'm still getting like 50-60% open rates on that because I'm warming up the list in lots of different ways. So they're familiar with who's coming into their inbox, and as long as you give them valuable content, they're going to keep opening it. If you're going to spam the hell out of them, then they're not.
Yeah. So great. So we have a good overview of what is a messenger bot and how the conversational commerce experience, how do you put that in place? Now, given that we are in a podcast in which we talk to a business consultant, information technology consultant, do you have maybe just one example of one consultant or one consulting company you did work with, and what type of results you had for them?
Yeah. So we've just been working with someone at the moment, and they are selling basically an Amazon course, which has got some level of coaching and stuff to it as well. And it's a high ticket course, close on the phone. And we came into them 5 weeks ago, and they weren't profitable. They were losing quite a bit per month. And over that time, so what we've done, we've applied the front end conversational experience through Messenger. So we do the follow up through Messenger in a conversational way. So we bring them in through Messenger to be able to watch the video sales letter, which is essentially like a mini webinar. And by doing that means we have reduced the book call cost down from $261 per book call, and it went all the way down to $48.
Yeah, that's less than 5 times. Wow, it's 20% the cost that you did.
Exactly. So we did that, and on top of that, then we were like, well, we need to get the close rate up. So we did a little bit of sales training with them, and a key part of when you're closing a sale is when you ask for the sale, shut the hell up. Just do not speak until they speak. So you say, this is the price. Just sit back and let them think about what the action, what they're going to say. And so by doing that, and we've got some other sales training tips and stuff like that as well. We doubled the close rate from 8% to 15%. And also now we've just been working on the short rate as well. And the short rate, I think now is around 65 to 70% as well, because we go SMS, voicemail drops, personalized video messaging, email, all before they get on a call. So they can't say, I didn't know about it.
Yeah. And in the way you deliver your services, is there, I guess part of the work is remote, is there some consulting work that you do face to face with your client, or you can also run all your services from distance?
So everything I do is remote. I don't currently. I don't think I have any clients that are in the UK. All my clients are USA, Canada, and Australia.
Oh, great! I am myself in Canada, so guess guys, you know that there is the messenger bot guy has clients in Canada, so don't hesitate. That's perfect. And is there? Are there pain points that you see that are coming back with all the clients that you that you have? Are there like I don't know, 1, 2, or 3 generic advice that you can give to clients, because you see them coming back with the same issues to you?
Yeah, it's one of the things is engagement. You know, how do you get? When I said before, you know, where attention goes, energy flows. Mm-hmm. And if you've got people's attention, the more they consume, the more they convert. So if you can bring in that consumption and get people to consume more of your content in a short space of time, you've got more chance of converting them into a client. You know, people like I had one client who they came to me and they were like, right, we've done these challenges that they've gone all right in the past. You know, we did okay. So we were thinking about putting messenger bots in there this time. I was like, okay. And they were like, so what we thought we could do, get the email opt-in, and then on the thank you page, we'll bring them into Messenger. And I was like, you need to flip that around. And he was like, what do you mean? And he was like, okay. I was like, so your opt-in rate for your email on Messenger is around 80%.
Yeah.
He was like, okay. And your opt-in rate for Messenger obviously is also about 80%. So you can have 80% of both, or you can have 50% of one and 20% of the other. What would you prefer? And he was like, okay, we'll go all in. So we did. And the previous year, they'd done 35,000 in that particular launch. This year, we did 293,000.
Wow.
In 4 days.
This is 9x. From 35,000 to 293, you said? 200,
yeah.
293,000 in 4 days. Wow.
And what people say as well is, oh, yeah, well, that's so great. That's just revenue. But it wasn't just revenue. That was, so profit on that as well. We had a 7x return on the ad spend.
Yeah, of course. I think the profit margins are huge as well. So everyone will be little. We try to be little. It's just revenue, but still, come on, it's very profitable.
But profit wise, we spent about $40,000 on ads. I think it was.
And that's thanks to that strategic thinking that you had by telling your client, okay, let's go messenger first. Instead of the opposite. So I think that's very smart. That's maybe something that a lot of business may underestimate. Whether it's a brick and mortar business or a service business, it doesn't matter actually. Even if you have to sell B2B services, people are on the phone, and businesses are owned and operated by people. Still now, at the moment.
Yeah.
So.
So my attitude is applying the Pareto principle. So
can you repeat what you just said?
So applying the Pareto principle. So 80% of the results come from 20% of the work.
Yeah.
Right. So if you can automate 80% of the work, then the manual 20% that you do is going to get 80% of the results. Right. But if you've got to do all the work and all this manual follow-up and everything, that gets really hard, really strenuous. But if you can automate 80% of that, then all you're doing is just closing that sale on the edge and focusing on what you do best. For example, I had someone, we launched a real last-minute offer yesterday, and I was just like, oh, everyone else is doing it. I'll give it a go. So, and then someone messaged me this morning and was like, oh, I can't, I tried to check out, but it didn't work. So obviously then I manually followed up and I was like, okay, that's all right. We'll sort it out. And I said, I've just checked. It hasn't gone through. She was like, okay. She was like, have you got anything else I can buy? and I was like, yeah, sure. There's a OTO afterwards as well where you can get this as well. And she was like, oh, cool. Yeah. And then 5 minutes later, she just spent over $100 with me.
Wow. That's great. That's great.
Because you just build that extra level of trust there with that manual interaction as well. I'm not saying automate 100% of it, because if you do, then you lose the human touch. You still want the human touch in there as well.
Yeah. I was about to ask that. Like, don't you have clients saying or prospects telling you, "I'm afraid I will be seen as a machine and not a real company"? Don't you have that objection sometimes?
Not too much, because a lot of people who come to me come from warm stuff anyway.
Okay.
Which is great. But it's also, like I say, it's about conversational commerce, not automated commerce.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're actually building the conversation, it shouldn't detract from what's going on. It shouldn't detract from your message. It shouldn't detract from building that brand and that culture. It should add to it, and it should add even more value. So if you're doing it right, people were not going to worry about it being automated. I've had like lists of people going, thanks. This is the best challenge I've ever been through, because it was fun and it was engaging, and it got them to take a transformation through the process.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. And how is your do you have a team, or how is your team at the moment with the messenger bot guy company?
Yeah, so the way I work at the moment is you focus on, and this is where I think a lot of people, when they're building out a team, go wrong, is they'll go, that's the main thing I do, let me see if I can outsource that first. But what you want to be figuring out is, what are the low value tasks that if I worked out how much I'm making in a month and then how many hours I'm working, then you're working out how much your being paid per hour, right? At that point. So then what you do is look at an outsourced task and say, does that cost less than what I'm worth per hour?
Mm-hmm.
And then outsource that first. So the main stuff that I outsource, say, for example, I've sent out three job offers this week on Upwork for podcast outreach to get on more podcasts in a personalized way again. So I've got a cold email template, but however, we've got like 4 levels of personalization that go into that cold outreach template, so it feels a lot more not just generic. Getting a VA from the Philippines to do that. I am doing a mini blog post each day, which I'm posting in different groups, but then turning into an email campaign as well. I'm getting a VA to schedule that email campaign. Mm-hmm. I have done a LinkedIn post scheduling and everything like that as well. I get a VA to do that kind of stuff. Video editing, get a VA to do that stuff. You know, you only want to be working on the stuff that's making the real dollars, making the high level strategy stuff. And I will be bringing on more bot builders as well. But it's just about finding that right person as well, because you need to have. So here's what a lot of people do as well. They go, oh, that person's really good at building bots, so I'm going to bring them in. And you're like, yeah, but you want to bring someone in who doesn't want their own agency. Because what happens is you train them up, you get them up to there, and they're like, wow, I'm amazing now. And they go, I'm going to go and do it myself.
Yeah. You want to, you want to retain, you want to attract, but you also want to retain that person. Yeah,
exactly. So a good way to do that is looking at the Myers-Briggs personality test.
Yeah.
There's 16 different personalities, and you want to be looking at the kind of personalities that complement what you do. So my personality type is commander, which some people would get from my general personality anyway, because I'm very kind of like bam, 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 bam. And just to give you a reference point as well, commander, other people who are commander personality types is Steve Jobs, Gordon Ramsay, Ty Lopez. Those kind of people are all commander personality types who like, I just get stuff done, and we just activate and make it happen. And sometimes can be a little bit cold and ruthless about, look, well, we just need to get the result. So I need people who don't want that.
Steve Jobs was a bit like that, like, you know, was pretty ruthless actually. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly, because the ones that are really successful entrepreneurs tend to be more of those personality types.
Yeah.
But then you have the other people who are working on their team who are more kind of like, I don't want to ask for the sale, I don't want to ask for money, I don't want the hassle of running my own agency and having these, I don't want conflict, I just want to do my thing, I want to make it nice and creative. Yeah. So those people, they're great on a team, and you want to be looking for those people, not more commanders. Because if I had someone else say, no, Paul, we should do it this way, and I'm like, no, we're doing it that way, and then that's just going to cause chaos.
Yeah. So you need to be with reliable people that will execute the work, I guess. So it's extremely valuable lesson that you give, because a lot of independent consultants or small business consulting firms will pride themselves into I'm doing everything. I'm working 90, 80 hours a week. It's crazy. I have to do my core stuff. I have to do all the admin. I organize my own events, etc. But here, you are proactive, into going to Upwork or going to basically any platform in which you can find staff, and trying to find people for doing all those repetitive tasks, things that you have to do several times a week. Get that outsourced, because it is, we can use the word low value, but also let's say it's repetitive and it is not in your zone of genius, basically. And I think that's a huge lesson learned, I think, for the audience.
And the other thing to note on that as well is everything's your fault, right? As a business owner, everything's your fault. So if you go and hire a VA and they don't do a good job, that's because you haven't trained them properly, not because, or you haven't filtered them properly before you brought them on to the job. You know, so if you're going to give them a small task before you take them on for a big task, you know, give them one email to schedule first before you go and schedule everything for the rest of my life. You know, you've got to start with those small things, and then also again, like, get them to do the personality test. Go and find out if they're a good fit for your business and your culture before you actually go any further.
Yeah, it's true. Do you want to know my result on the Myers-Briggs test?
What was it?
It was diplomat.
It's interesting. There you go.
And I think in the examples I had Obama. I think in the example, I don't remember the example of famous people that have that. But yes, that's so valuable, and it's important to look at that instead of maybe look first at hiring a new permanent employee in the business. So I think we went through a lot during this interview. You provided with a lot of value. So maybe we get to the end. I have one question, because we're on the Consulting Lifestyle podcast, and in a way, I think you partially already answered that. But I would like to know for you what it means to have a consulting lifestyle.
So I'd say to have a consulting lifestyle, it's about a few things: giving the freedom to other people, giving the freedom to yourself as well, to be able to live the life on your terms. But it's also like having an impact and leaving a legacy on other people. You know, don't jump into consulting because you think it's an easy option. Jump into consulting if you have already got proven success running a business. There's a lot of consultants that have never actually run a business themselves, and then they've read a book and then gone, I'm going to be a consultant. So, you know, it's much better to go and have that. Like I say, I've been running businesses since I was 16, 17. So, and I'm now 28. So I spent a lot, and I still really don't do much coaching or consulting. I will do some sales training and stuff like whilst they're in my done for you stuff. And people keep going, oh, can you do coaching and consulting like that? I'm like, not right now, because I would rather control the process and get everyone big results as well. So yeah, that for consulting for me is people who are truly experts at what they do and then can pass that knowledge and share it with someone else.
Yes, perfect. Also, how can people get in touch with you, the Messenger bot guy? You mentioned already some social media platforms. So can you let us know how they can get in touch?
So if you go to themessengerbotguy.com, there is a free video training on there as well that breaks down the exact process of how we reduced that book call cost by 500% and how we doubled the show rate and took all the numbers as well through the roof. So there's a free training on there, and then you have the option as well to schedule in a discovery call if you want to find out more about it. But yeah, that's completely free. So just go to messengerbotguy.com and you can check it all out.
Perfect. So the messengerbotguy.com, it will be in the show notes as well. So I think it was an amazing interview. We spoke with someone that went from running a bakery, making music for music from the 50s and the 60s, and I see him on the video, and he's definitely not from that period. So maybe his parents are from the 50s or 60s. Then he went to a bridesmaid dress business, and now he's the messenger bot guy. So it was amazing. Thank you very much, Paul, and we talk next time for sure.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate it.
Welcome. Bye bye.
Thank you for listening to the Consulting Lifestyle Podcast. Leave a review on iTunes if you enjoyed the episode, and subscribe to the podcast so that you get notified to hear other episodes with your host, Diogène Tirandécoura.